The Israeli hostages who were held by Hamas are now revealing the horrors of their captivity. Some were trapped in cages, others saw friends murdered, and some were kept in tunnels with no light for months on end.
The release of more hostages comes as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is set to meet with President Trump in Washington tomorrow. CBN's Chris Mitchell brings us the story from Jerusalem.
Before he left for the U.S., Netanyahu told reporters some of the issues the two leaders will discuss.
Victory over Hamas, achieving the release of all our hostages, and dealing with the Iranian terror axis and all its components, an axis that threatens the peace of Israel, the Middle East, and the entire world. Netanyahu says he believes the two can transform the Middle East. I believe that we can strengthen security, broaden the circle of peace, and achieve a remarkable era of peace through peace. Trump also extended an invitation to King Abdullah of Jordan to the White House. Trump wants Jordan and Egypt to help resettle Palestinian refugees from Gaza so it can be rebuilt. So far, both countries are rejecting Trump's offer.
We have a clear vision regarding the reconstruction of the Gaza Strip without this leading to the expulsion of any citizen from his land. We have a clear vision in this regard.
On Saturday, Hamas released 3 more hostages. Israelis were delighted to see the reunions of Yarden Bibas, Ofer Calderon, and Israeli-American Keith Siegel. These men and the other released hostages described the hellish conditions Hamas kept them in for more than 15 months. Some were held in cages and without medical care. Others saw friends murdered or die slowly. Some were forbidden to cry or hold hands with other hostages. A member of the IDF Medical Corps said some were held in Hamas tunnels for up to 8 months straight, without daylight and little human contact. Yarden Bibas says Hamas taunted him about the fate of his wife Shiri and the 2 sons, Ariel and Kafir. Israel says it has grave concerns about whether they are still alive. Former hostage Daniela Gilboa posted on social media, "I knew the only thing that could save us was faith." She waited for the moment she could recite the prayer of thanksgiving in her synagogue. President Trump's envoy Steve Witkoff met with some of the released hostages.
People of the United States stand with you. The President stands with you. And we have a common goal to bring everybody home.
Some were also held in United Nations Relief and Works Agency facilities. Israel has now banned UNRWA activities in Israel. It's Israel's most extensive action against the UN agency yet. CBN News has reported for years how UNRWA's curriculum teaches generation of Palestinian children to fight for Israel's destruction. The war in Gaza also exposed the incestuous relationship between UNRWA and the terror group Hamas, where many UNRWA employees work for Hamas and shared UNRWA facilities. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Well, we've been calling for years for the end of UNRWA. It's a UN organization that all it does is train young children how to become terrorists. They indoctrinate them that Israel has no right to exist and that should be wiped off the planet. That is what your tax dollars have been going to the past 4 years. Trump ended U.S. funding for UNRWA under his first administration. He's now ended it again. And it's time for this organization. It just shouldn't exist anymore. And I'm so glad that Israel is banning its activities. There needs to be another group formed that is just going to provide humanitarian aid for the people of Gaza. But that should be a very temporary organization until a permanent solution is found.